Hey y'all, it's the Reverend. I'm here for SoundProLive and the Live to Play Network, and we're at a warehouse in Vegas that is going to be hosting a party here pretty quick, and we're here with Ken Rengering. Hey Ken.
Front of the house, engineer to the star.
That's right. Owner of Ken's Events here in Las Vegas. Ken's been using the Presonus 24.4.2 StudioLive here for I don't know, about a month, and he's had it out on a few gigs. We've already walked through the feature set with you in another video, so Ken's going to tell us about the gigs he's done and what he likes, what he doesn't like, and there you go. Ken, take it away.
Well, as we're coming into summer, I've been doing a lot of stuff outside with this thing. First gig was poolside. We had a lot of various bands, a lot of acoustic stuff. We had violins out there, flutes, acoustic guitars, obviously. Just a lot of stuff where you got to actually see the compression and so forth. And because of the, as usual, where I had to set up, I couldn't actually, I wasn't eyeball to eyeball with the musicians, and I wasn't in front of the sound system. So it was kind of a logistical nightmare, but the board worked perfectly, man. Just getting little hand signals from people who were actually out front, we were able to make everything work. I think we put up 4 mixes for that, all standard wedges, so worked great. And the effects, which I think I was telling you, Bill, the effects I think are pretty good. The wet stuff is not super lush, but you can certainly go deeper into it, but once again, for the price, this board is freaking outstanding. I know you've gone through a lot of the feature stuff. What we're doing today is going to be basically a DJ thing. But if you look here, I've got the main DJ on channels 1 and 2, and looking at these are the mixes. So on aux 1 and 2, what I've done is put them in post because I'm using the front fill. I don't know if you guys can really see that, but I'm using front fill for this particular gig just because it's so wide and all the kids will be up front. So to put them in post, push the button, bring them up. Now you notice with the mix 1, mix 2, you see I have them divided left, right, and I have the PA and that monitor together, and the PA and that monitor. And again, those monitors are acting as the front fill. So to control that, very simple, very easy. For the actual monitors on the deck, I got a 3rd channel sent to me from the DJ, because the DJs like to control how much monitor they're receiving. But I get that because of this feature. See this limiter? See, this is part of the fat channel. You have this on everything, on every single channel of this desk. Nothing else. There's nothing else here. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Bang. I slap a limiter on there, and those knuckleheads can do whatever the hell they want to do.
And not blow up your system.
And not blow up anything. And look at this. I've got it, of course, I've got it limited on the left, right, and on the monitor send, which I have it on mix 3, and it's just a typical pre-send. I have it set up perfectly back there, so we're good to go.
Have you used the graphic EQ function?
I have. The graphic EQ function, this has 4 stereo 31-band graphics in it. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, and I apologize, they were cutting the stage and so forth, so we're incredibly dusty. The way you assign graphics on this, can you see it says main mix left? And it's graphic EQ 1, okay? These are assigned in pairs, so graphic EQ 2 is going to be the main mix right, but I actually have them off. I'm not using them at the moment. Main mix, for 3, I usually assign to aux 1, 4 would be aux 2. In other words, you have to assign them by pairs. The cool thing about this is when I'm in this graphic, we'll go back to 1, this switches the fat channel, this whole thing becomes my 31-band EQ. So you see this? Right now, that is showing our frequency. I don't know if you guys can see that, which is 63 hertz. Can you actually see that?
I think so.
Okay. All right. To move this, because this is only I think this is what, 24, 28 bands. I'm sorry, 24 because of the channels. But it'll go past. Do you guys see that actually happen? When I roll up here and that goes past?
Yes, I did.
Okay, that's how I get my 31 bands out of this. So when I'm all the way down, I am on 20 hertz. When I'm all the way up, I'm at
20 kilohertz.
1,000 hertz.
Awesome.
Is that awesome or what? And look at this, guys. This is how you adjust this. Bloop, 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 and I can be anywhere on this thing. To flatten it, can you actually read this? Oh, I just need to flatten this. So, drop back, push recall, and it flattens.
Wow.
Is that pretty bad?
That's pretty badass.
That's pretty slick. And of course, it does all the other stuff that you would expect it to do. This is inputs. I don't have anything coming in right now. Outputs. These are act as meters for everything. Inputs, outputs. They have a beautiful feature on here called gain reduction. And like I said, I don't have anything being sent to me. But they actually have a meter set up for gain reduction. Every channel I flip to, I can tell how much it's being reduced. I can tell how much it's being gated. I can tell how much compression. I can tell how much with, again, the limiter and so forth. Just a beautiful piece of gear. Very simple to use. I found it incredibly easy to use, and I'm a moron, so, you know, I would think everybody else, this would be, everybody's going to own one of these. You're
Okay,
gonna have
for a gig like this, what would you usually have brought?
For a gig like this, I honestly probably would have brought the probably the Mix Wizard.
Okay.
The Mix Wizard is the one I have is 16 channels, and the reason I like that is it has 6 auxes on it, 2 of which are effects normally, and that's just normally what I would carry in for the smaller size gigs.
But you'd have to have any kind of graphic EQs or anything like that. You'd have to carry separate.
A rack of gear. Again, not so much effects for this particular gig, but I carry an EQ rack that has 4 or actually 5 DBX, the 2231s in it to make sure I can notch everything. And because I'm using, as you saw, 3 auxes on this, that takes all those 2 aux boards out. You see what I'm, you know, because that I'm weird like that. I'm running the front fill in stereo also. That's just my kind of thing. A lot of the DJs, one of their tricks is switching the panning on their mixer. That's one of their little, whatever you call it, devices.
DJ things.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And I just like having that switch, that stereo field switch on the front fills also.
So is there anything you didn't like?
Again, the things that'll be confusing for everybody is this. Let me show you on this. Okay, aux 1. Hit it once, where the encoders are going to assign how much of our individual channels go to that mix, right? That makes sense to everybody. Here's the thing that's going to screw everybody up 3 times. You have to hit a second time. These don't mean anything, but these then become, can you actually read these? You see the firewire symbol, tape in, aux in A, aux in B, FX A, FX B. Now I can return like the effects to the monitor, okay, but it's still in aux 1, right? Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so that's what's really going to screw you all up at least 1 time.
Okay, but once you get it down,
then you're done. You hit it a 3rd time, and we're back to normal, which means we're now on the selected switch. If you need to select something, this board is so killer. This fat channel stuff pretty much works on left, right, every single subgroup. It's got 4 subgroups, right? Every input channel, not bad. You can also select, you see this? The aux inputs for A and B. You see the little select buttons here? Which means I can affect them with the fat channel again, which gives me all this crap. You can also select these, all the auxes. Again, it's got 10 auxes.
So you can do graphic EQs, compression, gating, limiting, everything on all of the individual auxes and the front, left, right, and the submixes.
Yes, you can do almost everything. I don't have the list in front of me, but it's not very much stuff you can't do on everything if you have it selected from the fat channel. Okay, and you can do more stuff. Again, we're hitting just the beginning of this. But you stick a FireWire cable in, run to your computer, you can run stuff to the computer or your effects out of the computer.
So you could use a plug-in on the computer and
plugins. You can do anything you want to do.
It all comes down to how much latency we're going to add, and there's always going to be a little bit, but it's probably going to be negligible. Everything's in the digital domain.
This thing is nasty. This thing is going to make popcorn at halftime for you. Honest to goodness, I don't know how they squeeze it all in. I'm not going to tell you a price that I'm hearing, but check eBay. You're going to be floored.
Yeah, no, we've already said, I think list on it is about $39, but you can get it for $33 and less all day long. It's obviously a great value for the money. It's a ridiculous value for the money when you get to it.
This alone, right here, the high-pass frequency is worth the price. That alone on every channel is worth the price. That alone on every aux is worth the price. Period. Right there, you paid for everything. Again, I don't get to use a lot of high-powered boards, but this is the cool stuff. The phantom power on every channel, and again, it's switchable and so forth. Again, Bill's going to take you through the FireWire thing. Getting around on the board is going to take you the first gig just to learn it. The flow is very simple. Just depends on what you're used to. Again, you can store scenes, you can store channels, you can store EQs, you can store all kinds of things.
And then instantly recall them?
Instantly recall them.
Now, it's not flying faders, correct?
No, it is not. No. But the thing that happens is when you store something or bring it back, you'll see this fader locate button. See this? And then when you move the fader, it brings you back until you're at where the fader should be. Do you understand what I mean by that? So when you move the fader, it catches. Does that?
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So when you take this off, then, you know.
Okay, cool.
So in other words, it will show you where the fader was and will not change until you actually change either the button. And I think some of the knobs do that too. Now, honestly, I haven't had to use that function because I haven't had it for that many gigs. But the first gig I used this for, like I said, was poolside. We probably had 6 bands that first day, no issues, doing incredibly dynamic stuff, very soft stuff, very loud stuff. The next thing I did was Blue Hair Casino, and I'm talking the 6 to 9 crowd, and I mean real blue hairs, where, you know, the drummer's too loud and he's not in the PA. I can't do anything else about that. They loved it. They were bringing more tables. They loved it. Honest to God, I booked more gigs off of that one immediately. The next gig of any note that I did with it was the Extreme Thing, which they have here in Las Vegas, which I actually have the parking pass. I just pulled it out of my truck. I did that for Larry Hall and HAS Productions. I mixed 1 of 4 stages. They had 20,000 kids there, 25,000, whatever the hell it was. It was in excess of 20,000 kids. One performed flawlessly. I had 7 bands on my stage. They all screamo, death metal, and if I wouldn't have had this board, I would have been up shit creek. I'm telling you, the thresholds, I mean the limiter and compression and the gating, and you know, with the gating, of course, it's got the downward expander on, which I freaking love. I would have been lost. I would have been shitting myself. Because no other desk that I would have had, or that we had the budget for, would have had enough stuff on it to do it analog-wise. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay,
and
well,
I normally use, just so you know, Drummer gates and EBX 160s. So, and with effects, I'm using you know, standard stuff, SPX 990s. You know, just standard stuff. Standard
stuff. But as far as the sound on the compressors and everything, you found them to be...
I think the dry stuff is banging on this desk. And I think I wrote this in the article. You start to mix with your eyeballs a little because it's addicting as hell because you know, you're hearing it and you say, oh no, I just want to tweak a little more out and a little, oh my God. And then I start mixing that way. And which I normally mix by smell. So, you know, it's very addicting, man. Because you stop, you know, you're definitely looking at the pretty lights. And it has pretty lights. Oh, one other thing. See the size of the screen? Always an issue in Las Vegas, especially when the sun is here. The pretty lights also disappeared a little bit in the in the sun.
So you're gonna want a hood or something, and
well, we had a tent over us, but when the sun got dropped towards the horizon, it got a little nasty for us. And you can see the board. I won't say I put it through hell. I've taken a little care of it, but I have no flight case for it yet. When I purchased this one, and I'm trying to purchase it, I will probably put a doghouse case on it, or a case with a doghouse, simply to dress it up and so forth, because I hate all the cables hanging out the back and so forth.
Right, just a corporate thing. Okay, well, I think that's about it. This is Ken Rengering and the Reverend, and I think we're out. Good gig, Ken.
Thank you, sir.